Deve essere fissa. Eccoci. 3, 2, 1. Eccoci. La cioccorana. Questa è l'immagine che ci hanno fatto vedere anche la scorsa volta. Che abbiamo visto anche... l'ingresso della sala comune di Serpeverde è bellissimo, raga. Bellissimo. Sono curioso di vedere che ci fanno vedere oggi.
What's up everybody? Welcome to the first Hogwarts Legacy gameplay stream. I'm Chandler,
Che in
community
audio.
manager here at Avalanche Software, and we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to show you today. But before we get into showing you the game and gameplay, I have a few
Beh, io lo capisco, va bene, però...
that I need to introduce you to.
Perché in arabo, raga?
First up, we have our community guest host. He brings you the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. He's the local Merlin conspiracy theorist.
Guilty as charged, yes.
One half of Expecto Go,
Yeah.
James Whitehead.
Thanks, Chandler. Yes, I'm James Whitehead of Expecto Go, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. And I am one half of Expecto Go, the other half, my wife Sue, represents that other half. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Avalanche Software, for inviting me. I cannot wait to go over this.
Anche noi, fratello. Anche noi non vediamo l'ora.
Welcome, thank you for being here. And we've got two people from the studio, just two of the many people bringing this thing together, the magic of Hogwarts Legacy.
Sì, ma dovete cacarlo sto gioco.
And senior environment artist.
Ce la faccio più. Non ce la faccio più. 3 anni.
Però
quella con la felpina di Grifondoro proprio. Maledetta.
So what we're going to be showing you today, first, the character creator, because it's your legacy, and you have to create yourself when you get into to get into Hogwarts and bring your whole authentic self to Hogwarts. So we're going to show you that character creator. Then we're going to dive into a tour of Hogwarts, and it's just a small tour of Hogwarts, right? Because Hogwarts is huge. Hogwarts is really big. So we're going to be showing you a little bit, but it's still a lot. So, and finally, ending up with combat. A little taste of combat, a little taste of how all that works.
Let's go.
Just a little taste, yeah. So we're excited to get there. But again, first and foremost, we need to get into this character creator. And James, with you here, we wanted to let you create this character. So Andrew, who is going to be doing all of our gameplay capture today, is going to be handing you the controller.
Oh my gosh. All right, I won't break anything. All right, so what are we looking at right here on this screen?
La personalizzazione.
So a lot like other games, there's some initial settings that you can choose for your character. That just kind of get them into like the ballpark of what you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to change.
Oh man.
And then once you're in that ballpark, all the other tabs let you dial that in, be exactly who you want to be. It's our goal with this is to make sure that for anyone that fantasized about bringing themselves to the school for the very first time, that they feel like they have the options in order to represent who they are and essentially bring themselves to Hogwarts or whatever character they want.
Io spero che però si possano modificare anche nello specifico. Ci sono molte opzioni, però spero che si possano modificare proprio nello specifico. Ma vero di sì da sopra. Taglio di capelli, mi sembra, cicatrici. Anche il volto forse ci potrebbe stare.
We're pretty close, but let's look at everything here. You know, play around with some of these options, like really.
All right, so what are we looking at with this option over here with the tab? I see.
Ah, ok, vedi, sì, si può. Questo è tipo stile... Sembra stile FIFA. Figo, cavolo.
Are choices that you have here. So you can, now you're just kind of getting into the details in your face shape, in your skin color. And then because we knew a lot of people going right in are going to want it right away, even though it's an option later in the game, you can collect different types of glasses, put them on later. We give you some options right up front. if you want to have glasses for your character.
Oh man. Oh my
Che
gosh.
figo.
Look at the structure of the faces with this. Wow. You
E
guys,
questo praticamente è come starta il gioco, raga.
like that.
K, grazie
I
per
don't
il
think my face is
follow.
that skinny, but I think we'll go that. I think we'll go that route. And down here.
Mi sa che
is
c'hai ragione,
this-
fratello.
Those are your glasses
this
there.
gla-
Yeah.
Oh, so we started. We could go Harry Potter if we want. Awesome job.
C'hai ragione, fratello
Oh,
mio.
man. And this is just some of the options. I'm
È
assuming?
uguale, zi, dove
So
cazzo la
through the course of the game,
piazzo?
There's a lot of different options that you'll keep unlocking.
Okay.
So as part of kind of like gear for the character.
È incredibile,
there's
anche gli
lots of different
occhiali.
classes, There's even masks. There's all kinds of things over the course of the game.
I like
for-
how it's all Victorian era, though.
Yeah,
Like,
right
it's
up front.
very authentic.
No, mia raga, mi sa che faccio un'altra roba io,
Oh my
sapete?
gosh. All right. So now, we can go flick on this one with the hair.
Vabbè, però così alla fine ci sta, dai.
Just, like, dreaming about
Così penso vada bene, boys.
characters and what
Oh
they're gonna
my
be.
gosh, the pony. The thing I'm always amazed by whenever I see any aspects of Hogwarts Legacy's character creator is just the texture. And like you even adding the bounce with the hair moving around. Yo, that kind of looks like Hermione a little bit. I'm not even gonna just like I'm not Fred. And we can just go, can I go like Tonks purple or green a little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh. Yo, this is so cool. Oh, I like that.
Faccio così.
That is
C'hai ragione, fratello. Sei il mio uomo.
Okay, so
Clayden, grazie per il follow, bello, benvenuto.
This type of hair, like way back, but
Was it purple?
I wanted silver tips, so that was the closest I got to any color. But oh my gosh, this is so cool. So you literally can bring yourself. Like it's a myriad of textures and different hairstyles here. All right, so now we're getting over here to play around with some of the.
These are more subtle options. We've
Okay.
got freckles, moles.
Grazie,
different
K,
things like,
gentilissimo. C'hai
texture
ragione.
complexion,
Perché sono in hype, capito, fratello? Sono talmente in hype che non ho pensato alla cam. Ero troppo fottutamente in hype. Sono troppo in hype.
I do have a bit of fun with that.
Questa è
And then
per
the
la
stars
prima
are
volta ci fanno vedere una roba di
options where
personalizzazione, almeno. Nello specifico, per le cicatrici,
you
immaginavo.
come in with
Ma il taglio, il colore dei capelli, è una roba assurda, fratello mio.
Oh wow! Look at that! I didn't even see that.
Oh, those are my favorite. The eyebrow
Yeah,
scars.
yeah,
Love those.
yeah. You look kind
It's
of
a
like,
classic.
yeah, you look kind of.
No, la sto aspettando da troppo tempo, zii.
So now we're over here.
Poi sono un fanboy del cavolo. Sono un fottuto fanboy io di Harry Potter, del Wizarding World in generale. Quindi
Again, getting more subtle.
lo sto aspettando troppo.
Really, like,
Veramente
diving into
troppo,
that
zii.
face to really get
Yeah.
your.
I don't know how revealing I want to be with my facial features now. Just like, yeah, I kind of have a big face. Yeah, my eyebrows kind of sit kind of low. But I mean, literally, you have so many options just starting the game. I feel like I'm going to be here like forever.
you and me both.
And then this final tab here, this is where you kind of bring your whole character together. You know, this is
questo
where you
praticamente è
finalize
la
everything.
scheda
You're
dove
choosing your house here?
inizializziamo
Okay.
il nostro mago. O la nostra
But,
strega.
you know, here's where you bring, you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more kind of a masculine or a feminine voice. And then even within that, changing your pitch,
with
the pitch slider.
It's a subtle slider.
Mamma mia, raga,
but
che
you can
mina.
hear it,
concerned about. That was quite something.
and so you can kind of make out the differences.
Ah,
But
puoi
yeah,
anche
you can
bilanciare la
select
voce, che figo.
You'll be selecting your difficulty here. For today, we'll just go normal because Andrew's going to be taking us through some of the experiences with combat later.
And we can talk a little more about difficulty, yeah, with combat and how that plays in.
That is
But
a
I
big
think
question.
the important thing here is like if for people who aren't gamers, especially,
Right.
story mode is a way to get into this without being worried about like, oh, do I need to be good at games? Like, no, just enjoy this game. It's,
And I will put it.
Vabbè, io penso che è normale sia la roba classica. Penso story.
And
Oh,
then,
oddio.
what is it,
Dipende.
witch or wizard?
Dipende come l'hanno impostata di base.
What do you think, character creator? We're good.
I'm good. Let's explore Hogwarts and let's get into some combat.
All right. Through the magic of using a dev kit, we're going to be loading up a save a little later in, so that we can show you more about Hogwarts and give you that taste of combat. All right, Andrew's got some gameplay pulled up for us here.
Hufflepuff.
We're, starting out, James, there
Bella anche
you
la
are.
mappa in
You're
basso a
right
sinistra.
outside
Ok, quindi c'è una
Road,
minimappa, raga.
the account link
Ci sarà una minimappa.
I do look good. And this is our first look at the Hufflepuff common room, I'm assuming.
Sì.
I mean, dorm room.
The dorm room,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This is awesome. But Alan, what are we seeing right here with the UI? Because this is our first look
Già, raga, questa è la prima volta che ci mostrano l'interfaccia di gioco. È la prima volta questa.
So, kind of going over it from right to left, on the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond.
Quadrante degli incantesimi, ok.
Those are, everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Okay.
Figo.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is, you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell.
Ok, incantesimi essenziali. Quindi qualcosa di particolare.
And Revelio is one of those. That's left on the D-pad. On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there.
Maledetti. No. Chi non ci mostrano il quadrante degli incantesimi, ma solo quelli che ci sono nell'interfaccia attuale.
On the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so
si è mangiato una mela così, bellissima. Un gufino?
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically
vabbè, quella è classica.
That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret.
Immaginavo.
I apologize. And all the way on the left is our
la barra sopra non ce lo dicono, quindi un segreto anche quello, no spoiler.
Updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of minimaps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the minimap and turn on or off different elements of our HUD.
Ah, vabbè, quello ci sta. Chi non ama la minimappa può toglierla, però. È figa, a me piace, mi è sempre piaciuta.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories.
Anche i dettagli, raga. Figo. Sembra figa anche la grafica comunque di base. Certo, Dio, cuscino un po' finto.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out into.
Oddio.
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger set. Sort of feel.
Della tana del tasso, giustamente. Cazzo, guarda, sala comune del tasso rosso è perfetta, è bellissima.
This is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room. Go back to those Common Room videos we released, you'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is
ah, quindi ogni sala comune, raga, c'ha la propria musica. C'è il proprio tema di sottofondo, musica, vabbè, roba un po' generica. Però figo, cazzo.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Look at that.
So, I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room
here, pauroso, raga.
talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over it.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings for this common room. The round doors.
Quindi J.K. Rowling ha comunque un ruolo importante anche nella creazione dell'estetica delle sale comuni, raga.
Which is like elements for each of the houses, right?
Hufflepuff is earth, Ravenclaw is air, Gryffindor is fire, and Slytherin is water. We really leaned into that for each common room.
Wow.
So it feels earthy.
Vabbè, questo, raga, ovviamente c'era. Lo sapevamo.
Hopefully it should feel very familiar.
Yeah.
Ogni casa è legata appunto a un elemento.
I know you don't want to leave, but we're going to be leaving.
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though. Like looking back at the past trailers, it was just
no, raga, bellissimo. Anche gli effetti sonori sono paurosi, una roba incredibile.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Use Revelio right here because there's
ah, ok, tu puoi utilizzarla se
yeah. So, these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages, and you'll notice a bunch of things.
Però lo fa vedere, capito? Te l'ha fatto vedere. Ah, quindi quando scopriamo qualcosa di nuovo ci aumenta di livello. Ah, in alto poi ti dice ok.
So we had to ask ourselves, what?
Continue, I'm sorry.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there.
Ah, è andato next, raga. È andato su qualcosa dove non doveva andare, insomma.
Okay.
So
ma?
We have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide.
Guida pratica alla magia.
Early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before you push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Bellissimo!
You can see your house kind of crest overlaid over it.
Okay.
Questo è il menu di pausa.
As well. So that the field guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors have granted it to you as a late 5th year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is, as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of locked into there. And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges.
Quindi qualsiasi cosa che facciamo all'interno del game Questo era l'immagine che avevo visto su Twitter, che non capivo che diavolo era. Quindi questi sono praticamente il progresso generale su quello che facciamo. Questa è la roba che non avevo capito da Twitter, raga. Questa era un'immagine che avevo visto su Twitter. Bello.
Help you grow as a wizard and practice your spells. And so that thing that we just saw is not just a field guide challenge and a way to earn XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game.
È un gioco nel gioco, praticamente.
There are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone.
Sono tipo come... sembrano tipo le piume, raga, che c'erano su Assassin's Creed. Più o meno. Sono più di 100 pagine che possiamo raccogliere in giro per Hogwarts. Questa è la prima volta che ci fanno girare per Hogwarts, raga. Quello dovrebbe essere la clessidra per vedere la classifica, tra virgolette. I punti delle case. Ah, ok. Non incidono ovviamente nel gioco, ho capito. Peccato, peccato. Oh, peccato. Beh, la Spati, va bello, buon pomeriggio. Ah, ok, dietro, la porta che c'era dietro era la sala grande. Bellissimo, ragazzi, bellissimo.
That's a shot straight from the trailer too. Just that part right there. I recognize that.
We might be giving you a little fan service here with callbacks to those.
Leggermente. Poco poco. Queste finestre cambiano. Ah, le finestre cambiano con le stagioni. Logo di Hogwarts, bellissimo. Facci vedere il cortile. Facci vedere il cortile.
Look at that.
No, perfetto, ragazzi. Perfetto.
Kind of chill out, play, meet each other outside the Great Hall before and after meals.
Mamma mia, raga, sono stati attentissimi a tutti i dettagli comunque.
The castle interconnects to that it interconnects outside, inside. There are pathways on both sides of things, so you really get a sense of scope to how. A
me, raga, piace anche il sistema di movimento che ha proprio il personaggio, come si muove. Cioè non è proprio centrale. Cioè non è proprio centrale, è leggermente più spostato sulla sinistra, mi piace, boh, mi dà una periferica diversa, mi piace di più.
And this castle's been here for hundreds of years, so just kind of the moss and all the trees that have overgrown it and
oh my gosh.
That landscape, that Scottish.
Might look a little familiar to you.
Comunque, raga, incredibile, stanno buttando un iPad sopra sto gioco incredibile, io non so se riesco a resistere, veramente. Potrei uscire di testa. La nuvoletta che bellissimo.
Hogwarts contains a lot of secrets.
Oh my god.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the
greenhouse
outside.
And we'll notice when we get down that
it's on the right. This is a big hub of
the
school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a grand central station.
I love that. I love
each direction, you know, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there. Transfiguration courtyard, you know, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of a the hub.
Mamma mia, raga. Hanno fatto il lavoro.
You can just tell, okay, green,
Green, go that
greenhouse.
way.
Oh my god.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but
Yeah.
it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you
Ah,
know
ok,
where you're
quindi
at.
quelle robe che vedevamo sopra è per smistarti nelle varie aree del castello. Immaginavo. Ci sarà un botto da vedere più che altro.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging
No, a me sta facendo girare un pochino le scatole perché
He's got this grin on his face.
tira il sasso e nasconde la mano. Maledetto lui.
From the reveal trailer, there's that dragon. Oh my god.
This is another location where the students will gather, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody.
Qui è la zona dove, in teoria, visivamente, dove Moody è trasformato
Yes, I'm sorry.
in un
I'm
furetto
just-
Malfoy nel
I'm
quarto.
Mary, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumor is that a former headmistress, Professor Mole, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years.
Figa
You
anche
should
sta
try to
roba,
catch
raga.
one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock,
Quindi è collegato
not an easy
sicuramente a
task,
qualcosa.
you may find a reward.
Esatto, che possiamo prendere. Ah, possiamo scegliere anche? Anche il dialogo, figo,
Perhaps
raga.
I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
No, anche nella torre dell'astronomia possiamo andare, bellissimo, raga. Quindi questa è tipo questa è una. Ah, ok, sono queste secondarie, giustamente. No, in italiano, credo, Spati. Anche in italiano. Lingua italiana, sicuramente.
So the students are a way to kind
È
of
figo.
flesh out the school,
È figo, raga.
opportunities
Sta roba è
around
molto
it, what we
interessante.
could do, and then those
Anche nelle missioni
interactions,
secondarie che possiamo
different
scegliere
interactions
quello
with
che
characters,
fare, e non è una roba
can offer different choice
standard.
points for the player.
Quindi possiamo
And some
scegliere
of
se
those
farlo
things,
o meno.
can
Ovviamente
affect
questa roba qua, da quello che ho
lives,
capito,
affect characters' lives,
ci dà delle
beginning of the
ricompense
game,
se riusciamo ad ottenere sta roba qua.
yeah, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Power.
Questa, raga, comunque a livello grafico hanno fatto il lavoro della Madonna.
In the castle, just visually, you come in here and just the richness of
It
this
is
area.
very iconic, very unique to.
No, quando c'è sto gioco, ragazzi, io non esisto in nessun altro titolo. Ve lo dico. Preparatevi.
Yeah, she looks like a first year.
Sembra una del primo anno.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Fate 2 domande e date 2 risposte.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoilsports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling
Che figo.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often.
Indovina
People
perché,
can be so cruel.
indovina perché stai sulle balle a tutti.
Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Sono tutte missioni secondarie che sicuramente, daranno
Sounds as if
qualcosa a
you caused this funny
prescindere.
situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway,
Ah.
I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented fifth year to help me.
Aspetta, quindi noi partiamo automaticamente dal 5º anno?
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones,
Questa è una roba che va
do come
capita,
and see
raga,
me
eh.
again. I'll be back to playing snake
Perché lei ha detto abbiamo bisogno di qualcuno del quinto anno, quindi noi partiamo direttamente dal quinto anno.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her, you can be a jerk to her, you can be like, God,
Questa è una roba molto figa che ha detto, infatti, possiamo scegliere noi come comportarci con gli altri. Questa è una cosa che mi piace un sacco, raga.
They continue.
That's a good example of the
Gobstones too. I know people are gonna ask. Gobstones playable? They make it, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game.
No, brutto, cazzo.
We've had to rip the band-aid off on a few things. Honestly,
Sarebbe stato figo giocarci però, raga.
On the franchise, how many things about this like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay.
Tutto, fratello.
And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the overall
Wizard's chess.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Quindi neanche gli scacchi dei maghi, raga, saranno presenti, da quello che ha detto.
Every single time there was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it.
Bellissimo, guarda che dettagli, raga.
It's definitely part of the world.
Dovrebbe essere... Questa è la sala di difesa contro le arti oscure, dovrebbe essere.
I was like, we're in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. I recognized that staircase to the left where we were just at. Andrew was walking by. I also recognized the dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
Being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes
Ok, ora ci spiegano come funzionano le lezioni.
Is it a schedule-based system? Is it to tell us how classes work?
Yeah, so ultimately we decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was...
Beh, questo è figo.
You know, that kind of thing, like, can I miss class at this time of day?
There is a day-night cycle.
Yeah,
Si possono perdere lezioni, fighissimo. C'è un ciclo giorno e notte.
And so there's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative, each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game. And classes fit within that structure.
Non è che proprio perdi le lezioni.
Things the players have to do. And then classes also appear on the side.
Non è che li puoi perdere, ma le recuperi, tra virgolette, da quello che ha ben inteso.
Classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities. You get to know the professors.
Bellissimo.
Each one of them has these
È bellissimo, raga.
moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions essentially where you can learn additional.
Quindi le missioni sono missioni secondarie, cioè le lezioni sono missioni secondarie.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just.
Boh, però ci sta alla fine, non è
maybe down there who's sipping some tea with
perché è una cosa che diciamo si differenzia da quello che sarebbe poi il corso della storyline, però questo non penso che ce lo facciano vedere oggi. Oddio!
Well, like speaking of lived in, like the sound effects again, the chatter of the communications happening and the footsteps, like it just makes it feel more alive.
Little events like that, the brooms going by overhead.
È una figata, anche i minimi dettagli. Per ora mi sta piacendo tutto.
Data tower was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a
Vabbè,
different
giustamente,
personality
ragazzi. Tutto sto tempo che non l'hanno fatto uscire, qualcosa di particolare dovrebbero metterlo, ma è giusto. Quindi ogni corridoio, ogni ala del castello ha una roba a sé, cioè una particolarità a sé. Esatto. Sarebbe figo vedere quando se si sviluppa proprio in sé per sé il castello. Ma che... Pix, non ci credo.
You know, we talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue.
Bellissimo.
That's,
do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky, and he's got his bow-truckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another.
Ok, quindi ragazzi, c'è un qualcosa che non capite all'interno di quello che vedete, attraverso l'incantesimo Revelio vi dovrebbe far capire chi è, tipo una specie di leggenda quando vedevi cose riferimento a Assassin's Creed, tipo. O non so se proprio sblocca qualche tipo anche a livello di esperienza, non lo so. Però sembra fatto bene.
So here we are at the owlry. We're looking directly at the owlry to show you
Bellissimo.
all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
It's a lot of owls at the owlry.
I
all
love the
owls.
fog rolling down that.
Great callback. Great call.
No, I also
Bellissimo.
love that as one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see.
Quindi possiamo mandare i nostri gufi?
go to. That
Maybe?
I just love that.
Qualche missione particolare? Possiamo inviare i nostri gufi?
We're kind of closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again,
Sono curioso.
but a fraction of this enormous castle.
È un piccolo tour del castello, piccolo tour, ci ha fatto vedere già un botto di roba. E non è tutto. Ah, questo è il club di duelli. Segreto.
Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
Who's in a younger year, but we kind of like that that he's running.
Che figo, raga, veramente.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
La musica sotto, raga, non so se la sentite.
That would be wonderful.
È quella che c'era nel film, tra l'altro. È bellissima sta roba.
If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
And this is a really
No,
good
raga,
opportunity
pauroso.
to now jump into combat,
Feels
because really in the
assurde.
game, this is going to be the first
Ok.
time where you yourself get to learn about combat.
Questo è fondamentalmente
and
la prima
combat
volta che ci fanno vedere anche l'interfaccia di combattimento.
Personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up to the possibilities.
Quindi, vediamo.
So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top.
Ok.
What we see on the top
Il
is
manichino
the active
d'addestramento.
spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots.
Colpi base. Quindi ci sono anche dei colpi base più gli incantesimi, quelli che si dovrebbero attivare con R2 in teoria. Esatto, R2 sul controller e la freccia in giù, immagino. Vabbè, questo era particolarmente intuitivo.
That R2 is also your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see
Ciao,
how
Mimi.
the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts.
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And
Com'è?
when
Come
it
va? Come
expands,
stai?
all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain additional spell diamonds up to 4.
Ok, quindi all'interno del gioco possiamo avere altri 4 quadranti con 4 incantesimi.
And then that helped us
C'è l'interfaccia K. C'è questa interfaccia qui.
Yeah.
And so you learn over the course of these
Questa interfaccia qui
events, you know,
sotto.
how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things like cooldowns through your talents.
Mamma mia, raga, mamma mia, mamma mia.
And update those things. And so if you hold down R2 and you tap the D-pad,
Quindi possiamo fare un insieme di
un
insieme di incantesimi. Basta pigliare R2, che è l'accesso a quel quadrante lì, e in più con l'analogico possiamo farle anche tipo, penso a combo, diciamo.
Pull things together, pull those combos together.
Pauroso.
Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Well done, Abby.
Mamma mia, il sistema di combattimento, raga, è pauroso.
But I mean,
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel.
È saggio il
You'll be a
ragazzetto.
fearsome challenger
No,
now.
che palle.
I think now we can
spiace.
take on something a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more.
Quindi anche il lato difensivo.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of crossed wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause
I'm
the action.
No, ok.
And talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there's about to be a lot going on.
Sono curioso, vediamo.
All right, here you can select if you want to fight
puoi
with
selezionare, vabbè, un
somebody
partner,
else,
quindi
somebody
ovviamente non
else.
sappiamo chi sono.
But in this case, we're not. We want that action to feel a little more frantic towards you, to really get you that sense of combat.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation because they've got you up against three people.
Off the jump.
Ma sono piccoli, ma dai, ma che roba è?
So I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just.
Ah, ok, qui ci sarà la solita legenda, come attaccare. R3 lock. Ah, ok, con R3, pigiando R3 e spostando l'analogico si agganciano vari diversi avversari. Ah, appare la barra della vita sopra, bellissimo. Bellissimo. Ah, c'è anche un tasto per liberarsi, quindi. Ok.
And we've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's
Forse qua ho capito già di base come funziona. Quindi sopra c'è il nemico che abbiamo agganciato, il suo livello e la salute. Qui c'è anche il livello degli avversari.
The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a sixth sense for those things that are coming.
Quindi quella roba che c'è sopra la testa è quando ci fa vedere che un nemico ci sta attaccando. Che con triangolo deviamo il colpo. Ah, quindi con triangolo si deviano i colpi.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and kind of breaks things off walls too.
Quindi c'è un contrattacco, quindi posso parare ma contrattaccare subito. Bello. Ah, puoi anche scivolare per...
Back into gameplay here. Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these other students off here. Win this duel.
Look how fast it is. It's like a dance.
Ah, ok, poi ovviamente in fase di battaglia possiamo bere anche direttamente la pozione per recuperare la vita. No, raga, bellissimo. Anche sfruttare quello che c'è intorno, il contesto per utilizzare come prima il barile, bellissimo. Porca miseria, raga, che bomba. Che bomba.
Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then.
Belle anche le divise, raga. Bellissime anche le divise.
All the gobstones, so to speak.
Ah, quindi ci sono proprio delle quest da fare anche nella... questo piccolo club dei duellanti. No, finito così, raga. Ci hanno fatto vedere un botto, fondamentalmente. Il ponte? Sì. Stanno uscendo dal castello. Fammi vedere fuori, fammi vedere qualcosa fuori, vabbè.
Owl mail. There's the owlry again. Yes.
La posta via Gufi, quindi immagino che si possano mandare anche dei gufi. Ergo.
Just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts to the world beyond Hogwarts. And this is not.
Fammi vedere la cappellina di Hagrid prima dell'avvento di Hagrid, impazzisco. Non possiamo esplorare tutto, quindi, raga.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So while we're done with what we're
Mamma mia, raga, che
side,
bomba. Che bomba.
I know there's a few
che bomba.
That you want to pick Alan and Boston's brains about.
I would love that, because there's a lot. All right, so some of these questions we did pull from the community. Secretly, but I did for so.
E beh, indovina.
And also from, I mean, going through this, I feel like you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about?
Mille cose che gli vorrei chiedere io a questi, altro che mille cose.
Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So, this would be like for the both of you guys. Will we be able to go back and change our character creation if we don't like it?
Avete letto la domanda, tanto ragazzi, senza che ve la dico.
Not everything, but there are certain things with hairstyle, hair color.
Ok, figo.
So kind of like core shapes, you know, like with the body and face, not after the fact. But there are
Non possiamo modificare il fisico a livello proprio preciso, ma tipo capigliatura, eccetera, eccetera. I dettagli sì.
Oh my god.
Bello.
And the game features a lot of appearance customization in it. So
Quindi
there's a ton of options there.
senza paura per questo.
That's in terms of like your character and stuff that you have, the character creator, it's like a smaller set of what you saw there.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Awesome, awesome. Next question. What kind of leisurely activity can we do? Can we study?
La domanda, raga, l'avete vista senza che ve la dico. Studiare nel tempo libero, beh.
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are
figo questo, bello. Bello.
You know, some of them want help getting up to hijinks, or some of them want to just explore secrets in the castle because there are new secrets in our castle to explore. And so so I think there's a bunch of things to do, and when it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. There are kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of
quello che vi dicevo prima, infatti. Cioè, alcune missioni sono proprio fuori dalla storyline, quelle nella storyline sono quelle effettivamente principali. Quindi
to study, so to speak, like with that.
Possiamo comunque apprendere dalle lezioni, però extra storyline principale. Cioè, se nella storyline principale non si fanno le missioni, non ti fa andare avanti.
Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal?
Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game, with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff. And then it's through the talent system, right? When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow. And
figo.
And as you spend talents, in some cases it even changes like the way you approach.
Cioè non si appa l'incantesimo, ma si appa tipo la potenza del personaggio, dovrebbe essere.
With like dark arts, for example. And as you go down that line, and you kind of play around with those talents.
Ah, che chiama talenti, ok.
Like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
Bello, figo, questo è bellissimo.
Be touching the dark art stuff, but I know many of you guys will be.
Maybe on your second.
Io lo farò sicuro. Sicuro.
Hufflepuff coming, #soon. I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long, and the excitement you guys have, what's one
Questa è una domanda che mi piace. Questo è molto interessante.
That you are excited for the fans to experience, Boston?
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again.
Sì, sicuramente per chi...
Whether you're already a fan.
Chi non ha letto i libri sicuramente verrà mezzo anche intrigato dal leggerli. Molti dettagli, raga, chi non ha letto i libri non li sa. Tantissimi dettagli. Finalmente. Alleluia. Ci siamo.
It's a great place to live. Official 5th year.
It's really funny because I want to give a different answer, and I will. But I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar. Because my favorite thing when running around, playing the game, and getting to know Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do, and thank God, right? Because you want the person architecting it to really know that. But when I rewatch the films or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game.
E per forza, è ovvio, è ovvio, è ovvio.
seeing location, I'm like, oh my God,
Soprattutto
I'm
per
right
chi ha
there.
letto i
And in the
libri,
movie
magari
saying,
sì, il film
I know what's around
visivamente,
that
ma chi ha
corner
letto i libri
in the
magari
film.
molti
Go down
dettagli,
this way.
raga,
There's actually a thing
li,
over here,
li
and
ricollega
there's this person
subito,
over here,
immagino,
this thing.
farà una figata.
And it just adds all this richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story.
Yeah.
So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just
I can
go.
go there.
That vantage point, yeah.
Bello.
There's just something exhilarating about it that
Yeah.
feels very different in that kind of open air and on that thing. It just like, it's kind of incredible. Yeah.
Dovrebbe essere figo, raga, veramente.
And wrapping it up, you know, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and sharing those stories.
Finalmente riusciamo a rientrare a Hogwarts per bene. Dopo i film, dopo i libri, dopo eccetera eccetera. Riusciamo a rientrarci dentro.
Even within the things that are the same, it's going to be your unique experience. It's different from mine. It's different from, we're all approaching it from different places. And I think that's going to be really cool, the way that everybody brings those things together. All right, and that's everything that we have to show you today. I know maybe it wasn't
Purtroppo sì.
everything you wanted to see, but it was a whole lot of stuff. Character creator, little mini tour of Hogwarts there, just a small part of it, a little bit of combat. And we do have some more stuff coming up for you in the future. Hogwarts Legacy releases on February 10th.
10 febbraio, raga. 10 febbraio. Come ci arriviamo al 10 febbraio?
That's going to do it from us. We're going to leave you with a little something else, but for now, bye.
Bye.
Ovvero? Sarà un po' il riassunto di quel che abbiamo visto, probabilmente, infatti. Niente da dire, raga. L'ippogrifo, bellissimo. Questo non l'hanno fatto vedere l'altra volta, non mi ricordo. Bellissimo. Questa è la stanza delle necessità. Bastardi maledetti. E questo è quello che ci faranno vedere sicuramente la prossima volta. Bellissimo, raga. Bello, bello, bello.